This video is about optimization. So we're going to use a variable data file and create optimized color images in the variations. So I'm creating an action called optimization, and we're going to start recording the first file we'd like to optimize. We're going to use the Texas flag because there's a large area of white and it's red, white, and blue, which is very common in the state flags. So the first step will be to do hue and saturation. This is a superhero design, so we're going to increase the saturation significantly. Mostly I'm sacrificing value for intensity, which is pretty common with superheroes and t-shirts. Next, we're going to do brightness contrast. We're going to increase the contrast pretty significantly. This will clean the color and give us the most vibrant print possible in CMYK. I'm checking the white areas to see how much value I'm losing there, just because I like the shape of the flag, so I backed off on the brightness increase. The next step typically is to convert to lab and use unsharp mask on the lightness channel. In this case, I'm not going to do that because there's 50 different US flags in this file, and converting to lab for each one will be really time consuming. So we're going to do the unsharp mask in RGB. Typically this isn't recommended. The unsharp mask is a setting of 84, 3, and 1. And it will give some definition to different patterns and canvases and things that are in the flag materials. Traditionally, I wouldn't do this because it pulls the colors away from each other. If you sharpen in lab, you'll be able to sharpen just the lightness channel and not affect the color channels of A and B. And this would inhibit things like glowing edges around colors or separation between colors. So as we run through this action, we'll have to be very careful and check. So we're going to run the action on the Arizona state flag that we just created, and it's going to brighten and optimize the color slightly. It's not too dramatic because it's an automatic optimization. As you're running through each one, if you see one that isn't really going in the direction that you like, you flag that layer and revisit and optimize it by itself. The action is being run twice on some files like this one, but I have to be very careful and check for those separation lines from the over sharpening. So generally if I run it twice and get the colors really saturated, I'll step back on the unsharp mask so that I don't get the separation in between the colors. And then just continue on and run it through each layer, checking to see how it optimizes, if we need to do any kind of individual color adjustment, or if I need to flag the layer and come back and adjust it on its own. This is another example of one that should be run twice just to give that extra color pop and make it really nice and vibrant. So I go through step by step. Of course, you can create an automatic action that would make this much faster. To be able to optimize multiple files. I don't prefer to do that this way because I like a visual not only on the optimization itself but also on the cropping that I've done. I've zoomed in a lot on this cropping for the different flags to give some more texture and color interest inside of the lettering. I think I might go back and revisit some of them and zoom out a little bit so you see more of a whole flag shape instead of just the close-up aspects. I do think that some of the small detail aspects on the flags are really interesting, so I kind of enjoyed making this. I hadn't actually seen most of the American flags. This one brightens up a lot, so when I run it twice I see some more brightening, and as you go through you'll see some colors shift a lot, some colors shift not very much. The idea behind this garment was to create something that really recognizes our first responders by location and hopefully raises money to help support the hospitals and the first responders. We're all going through this together, so we wanted to represent as many states and countries as possible. And you'll really see the optimizing helps your CMYK print perform better, gives you more brightness, gives you more color saturation. This is New Jersey. This one, as I'm optimizing it, I can see the line separation. The quality of this file isn't very good. I can see some JPEG information. My optimizing is just enhancing that, so I'm going to get rid of that file and keep working through the other ones. As I continue to optimize, I see that some of them are really improving. This one in particular is really improving. I need to add New Jersey back again, so I made a file, I labeled it, and I'm going to put it into the uncropped masks layers so that I can remember to add New Jersey back in later. And then this one is Washington. I'm going to optimize that. Pennsylvania. They're really looking a lot better when you get that extra step, that extra pop of color. There's Louisiana. And as we move through, the ones that are red, white, and blue, really Americana, they really pop. They really do look nice after optimizing. Colorado. We're moving through and making sure the colors are really bright, ready to print. And this is how you can optimize variation, variable data. Make sure all the colors are really saturated. And then finally, Tennessee.